Is Terrence Howard insane? Is he crazy? Is he a liar? Is he correct? If you scroll the internet, you see this crazy viral video of an interview with Joe Rogan and Terrence Howard. And you basically can't even go on YouTube typing their names in without immediately seeing videos like these here saying Terrence Howard is insane, Terrence Howard is crazy. But there's also a lot of other people that found it fascinating and insightful. Now, one of the most viral and controversial moments was right at the beginning of this interview. Right off the bat, Joe asked Terrence a question about his life, and he explains that he was conscious in his mother's womb. He details supposed specific memories of when he was in the womb, and then he realized he had this big purpose for his life. Now, that immediately sparked scientists and influencers and comedians all attacking this guy as a total nut job that is, according to them, one of the stupidest things they'd ever heard. Like, for example, here's famous comedian Brian Callen and Brendan Schwab responding to Howard's claims about memories and consciousness in the womb.
If he came on this show and was like, if I was like, I wouldn't ask this, but if I did, if I was like, what was your first memory? He goes, I was falling and I woke up in my mother's womb. I went, thank you. Thank you for your time. We're going to go to Kurt.
Thank you.
You're crazy, right?
Now, I admit it does sound kind of crazy how detailed what Terrence Howard is saying about these memories. But what if there's actually more to the story? What if there's science behind it? What if this science can help you change your entire life? And what if it's hiding in plain sight? I wanted to know that. And when I started diving into the neuroscience and medical research directly off the US government's official online medical library, PubMed.gov, I realized he might be more right than wrong. And it has some huge implications for you in your life as well. Let me explain. Now, when my friend first told me about this Rogan Howard interview, he was laughing about how insane this idea of him being conscious in the womb was. And I admit it sounded strange, but it wasn't entirely unbelievable to me because before my wife gave birth to our first child, I read all these brain development and neuroscience books on babies, and what I found may surprise you. Now, I can't verify Howard's claims on these specific memories, but babies do have a level of consciousness, and it's controlling your life now as an adult. For example, there's a study, fetal and newborn responses with auditory stimuli, and they found that as early as 25 weeks in gestation, babies can hear. The auditory stimuli of the environment actually affects their brain. So as early as 25 weeks, a baby can hear, and its brain is responding to these frequencies from the environment, which has huge implications as an adult. Like, have you ever wondered why you struggle earning more money, with your self-esteem, with achieving your goals? You were taking in beliefs, perceptions, and ideas from your parents even when you were in the fetus. You build neural connections and cellular memories around these early experiences. And we'll circle back to that in a minute, how these early brain patterns are controlling your reality now as an adult. But that's why I'm so big on using a success hypnosis. That's why I got so into it. It's why I give away mine for free. If you click right there, or you go to link in the description, or it's pinned to the comments, it's jakeshypnosis.com. It's my free success hypnosis. It's just a success hypnosis to reprogram your mind, because if going back as early as 25 weeks when you were a fetus, you started to hear these things unconsciously and they built synaptic connections in your brain. If they were negative, then they might be holding you back as an adult. So don't get it yet, but you can click right here, go to jakeshypnosis.com. But here's the thing, that's not even the half of uncovering Terrence's theory. In another study, Language Learning Begins in Utero, a study on newborn cry melodies, researchers found that newborns' cries reflect the patterns of their mother's tongue that they learned when they were in the womb listening to it. So infants' crying patterns were mirrored off the cadence of their mother's voice when they're in the womb. So this is suggesting that a baby's brain processes and recognizes sounds in the womb, and then it mirrors them, kind of like when you install computer software on a brand new computer. So if it's mirroring the tone of a mother's voice and how it cries, what else might you be learning? What else might you have learned? In another study, prenatal music exposure induces long-term neural effects. Neuroscientists wanted to discover if playing music to fetuses would affect their brain function, and then if they would remember the songs when they were toddlers or infants. So they took two groups. One of the groups, they played Twinkle Twinkle Little Star during the third trimester. Control group, they did nothing. So then after birth, using EEG and all these different types of assessments, they found that the newborns that were exposed to the music in the womb had stronger brain responses. They had better recognition of the music. They were literally remembering it. And so it showed that the neural activity in these infants correlated to having a long-term memory in their brain when they were in their mother's womb, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. So was Terrence Howard as crazy as he sounded? In my opinion, no. While the specifics of his memories, right, they're hard to verify, there is a lot of substantial scientific backing behind the general premise, and I think there's a point that everybody's missing. There's something else happening that can change your life or ruin your life in what he was saying. And the truth is, I remember some pretty interesting stuff when I was little. Like, I remember my mom wore blue dresses, and on Wednesday at 11 a.m., she always got the mail until I was born. I remember that when I was a fetus. No, I'm just joking. But I don't really remember what my mom ate for breakfast when I was in the womb. But I actually have some pretty cool memories when I was really little, when I was an infant, not when I was in the womb, as they basically correlate to my entire adult life. So when I was really young, I remember looking at myself in the mirror, and then my dad came in to see me. And with this kind of disciplinary tone, he was like, "You are smart, you are successful, you are special." And it's like one of the earliest preschool kind of very young memories that I had. And these kind of affirmations from my dad repeated until I was in middle school. He doesn't even remember actually doing it. And it wasn't until I actually started going to a therapist and like unpacking some childhood experiences, I realized that I always expected to be successful. Even when I was 19 years old, I dropped out of college, and I knew I was going to be this big successful author. And the same thing happened with YouTube. When this channel had literally 0 subscribers, I was able to trace all of this back to this self-confidence that I got from these little tiny memories. And that may seem kind of like a silly little thing that started when I was young, but as an adult, I have never struggled with confidence or belief. I've had my fair share of problems, my fair share of mistakes, but confidence and belief, oddly enough, were never an issue. And it all started with that subconscious programming, that neural priming, that brain programming. Maybe it even began when I was in the womb, I don't know. But yeah, shout out to Terrence Howard on that one. He could be right. And you might be thinking, like, what's the point? How can this help you right now in your life to create your dream reality? So let me bring this full circle using a rhetorical question. You know that old motivational saying, it's like, show me the 5 people you spend the most time with and I'll predict your future. We've all heard that one, right? We all know that it's highlighting the influence of our environment and people on our personal reality. But what if we change that saying and we say, show me what you learned as a baby, and I'll predict your future as an adult? What if we stop looking at Terrence Howard's interview with Joe Rogan just at the surface level? Is he telling the truth about his mother's womb and all those? Is he crazy? One thing is for sure, Terrence Howard said as a baby that he learned he was special and he was here for this big purpose and these big goals. And he's pretty damn successful now as an adult. So what's the deeper message to what he's saying, and how can it affect you in your life? Because If we look at someone's current life results as an adult, we can always trace them back to childhood experiences. Like, for example, consider imaginary Susie. She's 43. She dislikes her job. She struggles financially. She hasn't met her soulmate. She's sitting there. She's like, why can't I make more money? Why am I broke? Why can't I achieve my goals? Why can't I find the person to fall in love with? Why does nothing go right? And she wants to know why. Why is she getting these results she doesn't want? If she wants to change her results, she has to examine her childhood unconscious associations that she formed around money, success, love, and relationships. For example, maybe her parents fought over money and they divorced, and maybe she developed a fear or an association that correlates money with pain because her parents fought over money and they got divorced, and it's a childhood trauma. So as an adult, she pushes it away, right? Maybe it even started in the womb. They were arguing about money all the time, right? We know from those studies that fetuses were mirroring their cry patterns after their mom's voices when they were in the womb. Could it also be affecting your financial life? Could it be affecting your love life? These little moments could be controlling your entire life as an adult. How much money you make, your emotional patterns, your relationships, what you do and don't attract into your life. I know it happened for me. At 23, I was struggling with love, with money, with my career. And I started reflecting on my childhood, and I developed a belief that love was painful, was best to be avoided. My parents got divorced, blah, 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 right? And these subconscious beliefs were controlling my life. And it wasn't until I started using a success hypnosis every single day to reprogram it. Because here's the cool thing about all this. Yeah, you may have had maybe it started in the womb, or maybe it started when you were 3 months old or 4 years old. You might not remember any of it because it was so young you didn't have a conscious mind, so they aren't conscious memories. But they might be forms of self-sabotage as an adult that are keeping you from making more money, keeping you from being confident, keeping you from attracting love and all these things. But the cool thing is you can reprogram it. You don't have to go through every scenario of your entire life and find it out. You can just reprogram it the same way you can delete viruses on a computer and install a new software. So I created a success hypnosis for myself when I was 23. And I started reprogramming my mind. And by the time I was 25, I had a 7-figure business. My books were getting published by the #1 English publishing company in the world, translated into other languages. And it showed me that if you can reprogram early childhood conditioning, you can change your life. So if you want to check that out, I recommend you use it for 5 minutes a day. It's free. 1 million people from all over the world have used it. You can click right here, or you can go to the link in the description, or go to jakeshypnosis.com. It's pinned as the comments right there down below. So all I'm saying is that I invite you to explore how these early levels of conditioning, maybe it was when you were in the womb, like Terrence said, or maybe it was when you were a baby, and how they're controlling your life as an adult, right? Terrence claims may be outlandish, but there is some scientific research that proves that our brains are forming these types of memories even before birth. All of our early experiences from the womb to childhood might be controlling your life as an adult and the results that you're getting. And by understanding and reprogramming these subconscious beliefs and neural patterns, you can change your life for the better. Understanding the deeper layers of what Howard and Rogan were discussing, reprogramming our brains can unlock a new reality. So I encourage you to reflect on your early childhood conditioning and how it might be controlling your life today. You might just totally transform your life, and maybe that's the deeper message in this Terrence Howard and Joe Rogan interview. If you enjoy this video, I'd love to hear what you think. Do you think it's crazy? Do you think that interview was crazy? Do you think the way that what I took out of this, that I just shared is powerful? Is it crazy? Let me know in the comments right there down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like, subscribe, bell notification. You can check out my free success hypnosis to reprogram your subconscious mind, take control of your life. You can click right here, go to jakeshypnosis.com, or you can click the link in the description, or it's pinned as the top comment right there down below. And you can check out my full breakdown on this Joe Rogan and Terrence Howard interview when they start discussing the famous inventor Nikola Tesla. Here's a little clip. You can also click right here to watch that now.